Tonight, the collective is learning why desire is not the enemy, but unconscious desire will absolutely walk you into a spiritual pothole wearing expensive shoes. This scroll opens the mirror of Sitri, the Goetia prince of attraction, exposure, passion, and hidden appetite. But this is not just about romance, lust, beauty, or somebody texting "wid" at the exact wrong hour, like a demon with unlimited data. This is about the deeper question: what part of you is choosing? Your soul or your wound? Sitri teaches that attraction is information, not commandment. Chemistry may sparkle, but character must still pass inspection. The flame may rise, but wisdom better be standing nearby with a clipboard, because passion without discernment is how people end up calling chaos destiny, and then wondering why their peace packed a suitcase. Tonight, the collective learns how to honor desire without being ruled by it, how to recognize sacred attraction from spiritual bait, and how to keep the temple guarded while the heart stays alive. Gather close. Tonight, we enter the chamber of the mirror flame, where desire removes its perfume and shows its true face. Not every attraction is love. Not every pull is purpose. Not every beautiful thing was sent to bless you. Some flames come to warm the soul. Some flames come to test the wound. And some show up looking divine while carrying the emotional paperwork of an unpaid karmic lawsuit. Tragic, predictable, very human. The wise one does not fear desire. The wise one studies it, because desire is a messenger. It reveals where the spirit is alive, where the body remembers joy, where the heart still hopes, and where the old wound may still be choosing from behind the curtain with snacks and bad judgment. So before the scroll begins, let this wisdom open the gate. Attraction is not permission. Chemistry is not covenant. Passion is not proof. And being wanted is not the same as being honored. The sacred flame must bow to truth. The body is not dirty. The body is an altar. But not everyone deserves entry into the temple. Tonight, Sitri does not come to shame the flame. He comes to teach the collective how to carry it without burning down the throne room.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. The golden whisperer, C-star, Devalan, see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
The 72 Keys of Earth, Scroll of Sitri. The mirror of desire and the discipline of the flame. In the old Goetia order, after Guzion comes Sitri, the 12th spirit, named as a great prince. The grimoire describes him first with a leopard's head and griffin wings, then shifting into a beautiful human form. His office is tied to desire, attraction, exposure, and the dangerous little circus humanity calls romance, because apparently one regular nervous system was not dramatic enough. The text says he rules 60 legions of spirits. Now hear the scroll. Sitri did not enter the chamber like a monster. That would have been too honest. He entered like perfume before the body arrives. First came the heat. Not fire. Not summer. Not candlelight. The heat that rises when someone says your name, like they know the version of you that you have been hiding under manners, chores, trauma, taxes, and pretending you are fine. The room shimmered. The torches bent low. The mirrors on the walls began to sweat silver. And then he appeared. A prince with the face of a leopard, eyes bright as golden wounds, wings wide like a griffin that had flown through storms older than churches. His body carried elegance and danger in the same breath. Beauty stood beside him like a servant. And temptation followed behind carrying snacks, because temptation always arrives prepared. Annoying, but professional. Sitri stepped forward. Not roaring, not begging, not performing. He simply looked into the room, and every hidden longing stood up like it had been called to court. The married woman remembered the song she stopped singing. The lonely man remembered the touch he pretended not to miss. The priest remembered the body he had condemned while secretly bargaining with it in dreams. The warrior remembered softness. The queen remembered hunger. The liar remembered truth. And the mirror remembered everyone. Sitri lifted one hand. The air split, not into war, into revelation. Cloth did not fall first. Masks did. The proud lost their posture. The cruel lost their excuses. The seductive lost their strategy. The abandoned lost their shame. The desperate lost their dignity for 3 seconds. Then tried to grab it back with both hands. because humans love dropping wisdom and then asking where it went. Sitri laughed softly. Desire is not the enemy, he said. Deception is. And that was the first hidden lesson. The old books speak of Sitri as one who inflames love and causes nakedness if desired. But the deeper current is not just flesh. The deeper current is exposure. Sitri is the mirror that asks, what are you really reaching for? Some reach for love. Some reach for control. Some reach for proof they are wanted. Some reach for revenge, dressed in lipstick. Some reach for healing, but choose chaos because chaos feels familiar. Sitri watches all of it. He is not merely the prince of attraction. He is the examiner of appetite. He does not ask, who do you want? He asks, what wound is choosing for you? There it is, collective. That little sharp jewel. Because desire can be sacred. Desire can be a compass. Desire can lead a soul back into aliveness after years of emotional winter. But desire without wisdom becomes a drunk king with a crown made of bad decisions. And desire without consent becomes corruption. That is where the scroll turns serious. No true flame needs force. No true love needs enchantment. No true bond requires someone's spirit to be cornered, tricked, drained, exposed, or spiritually mugged in the alley like common sense never existed. Sitri's distorted current is manipulation. His restored current is revelation. The false magician says, make them want me. The true initiate says, show me why I hunger for what cannot honor me. That is the difference between spell work and self-mastery. That is the difference between seduction and sovereignty. That is the difference between being magnetic and being messy with incense. Sitri walked through the Hall of Mirrors, and every mirror showed a different kind of nakedness. One mirror showed a woman covered in jewels, but starving for kindness. One showed a man praised by crowds, but terrified of being known. One showed lovers wrapped around each other while their souls stood on opposite sides of the room, arms crossed like, this meeting should have been an email. One showed a chosen one glowing with power, still checking their phone for a message from someone who had the emotional range of a damp sock. Sitri paused before that mirror. He tilted his head. Ah, he said, the sacred fool. The chosen one blinked. Sitri smiled. You know your crown is real, yet you still wait for peasants of the nervous system to validate it. Rude, accurate, hateful little truth sandwich. Then Sitri removed the mirror from the wall and shattered it across the floor. Each broken piece became a smaller mirror. Each smaller mirror became an eye. Each eye became a question. Do you want love or do you want rescue? Do you want passion or do you want distraction? Do you want union or do you want someone to prove the ones who rejected you were wrong? Do you want the person or do you want the feeling they awakened? Do you want truth or do you want the costume truth was wearing? The collective got quiet. Because when desire is examined, the ego suddenly remembers it has errands. Sitri's wings opened. Behind him appeared the leopard and the griffin as living symbols. The leopard moved low to the ground, silent, spotted with moonfire. It represented instinct, sensual intelligence, timing, and the body's ancient knowing. The griffin rose above him, eagle and lion in one sacred beast, representing guardianship, nobility, vigilance, and the higher law. That is why Sitri's form matters. Leopard below, griffin above, instinct and sovereignty, body and spirit, hunger and honor. The lesson is not to kill desire. The lesson is to crown it with discernment. Because the body is not dirty, the body is an altar. But not everyone deserves access to the temple. Some folks show up barefoot with mud on their intentions and still expect VIP entry. Absolutely not. The ancestors did not survive storms, so your aura could become a public bus station. Sitri teaches the sacred gate. He says, attraction is information, not instruction. Feeling drawn to someone does not mean they are destiny. Sometimes it means they are your pattern wearing cologne. Sometimes it means they carry a lesson. Sometimes it means they are a mirror. Sometimes it means your nervous system recognized chaos and said, home, because the nervous system has terrible interior design when unhealed. So Sitri does not just reveal who wants you. He reveals why you are tempted. And this is where his scroll becomes medicine. When Sitri comes in his restored form, he teaches the chosen how to reclaim the flame without letting it burn the house down. He teaches, let attraction speak, but do not let it drive. Let beauty enter, but check its hands. Let chemistry sparkle, but ask what it builds after midnight. Let desire rise, but make it bow to self-respect. Let passion dance, but make sure wisdom is the DJ. Because passion without wisdom is just a bonfire in a library. Dramatic? Yes. Useful? Unfortunately. Sitri then turned toward the hidden gate. The gate was made of red gold, black glass, and old vows. Above it were carved the words, "What you chase, chases your wound. What you honor, honors your soul." The gate opened. Inside was not a lover, not a throne, not a bed. Inside was the self, the true self, the self before shame, the self before rejection, the self before bad love taught the spirit to bargain, the self before someone convinced the heart that crumbs were a feast. Sitri bowed, not to the magician, not to the king, not to the room. He bowed to the recovered self. And the collective heard the deeper teaching. The greatest seduction is not making others desire you. The greatest seduction is becoming so whole that false desire cannot rent space in your temple. That is the key. That is Sitri's true medicine when lifted from distortion. He is not only the prince of desire, he is the prince of the unmasked flame. He reveals where lust is hiding grief, where longing is hiding abandonment, where romance is hiding control, where beauty is hiding danger, where confidence is hiding terror, where the body is trying to speak what the mouth was trained to silence. Sitri does not destroy desire. He interrogates it under gold light. And when desire survives truth, it becomes sacred. When attraction survives patience, it becomes worthy. When love survives boundaries, it becomes safe. When passion honors consent, it becomes divine. So tonight, collective, do not fear the flame. Study it. Do not shame the hunger. Name it. Do not hand your sacred fire to anyone who only came to warm their hands and leave ashes on your floor. The old world taught people to either worship desire or repress it. Both are lazy, and humanity does love turning two bad options into a civilization. The higher path is mastery. The higher path says, I can be sensual and sovereign. I can be loving and discerning. I can be magnetic and unavailable to nonsense. I can desire deeply without abandoning myself. I can be beautiful without being bait. I can be open without being unguarded. I can be flame without becoming wildfire. And Sitri, the prince of the mirrored flame, smiled. The leopard lowered its head. The griffin folded its wings. The mirrors stopped sweating. The chamber cooled. And the chosen one finally understood. The body is not the trap. The wound is the trap. The desire is not the danger. The unconscious desire is the danger. The lover is not the test. The self-abandonment is the test. And when the soul remembers this, the spell breaks. Not because love disappears, but because love is no longer allowed to enter wearing a mask. Never let desire make you forget your throne. Never let beauty make you ignore behavior. Never let chemistry outrank character. And never confuse being wanted with being valued. Because Sitri's mirror tells the truth. A flame without honor becomes smoke. But a flame with wisdom becomes a star. I'll pull the Sitri receipts from the old grimoire trail first, then translate the symbolism into usable wisdom. The archives insist on being dramatic, naturally. Receipts for the Scroll of Sitri. The main receipt comes from the Lesser Key of Solomon, specifically the Ars Goetia, where Sitri is listed as the 12th spirit, a great prince, appearing first with a leopard's head and griffon wings, then taking a beautiful human form. The text also says Sitri stirs love between men and women, causes nakedness if desired, and governs 60 legions of spirits. There it is, the old grimoire putting desire, exposure, and spiritual chaos on the same page like humanity needed more plot complications. The older demon catalog, Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, connected to Johann Weyer and first appearing as an appendix to De Prestigis Daemonum in 1577, also preserves the Sitri Bitru tradition. This matters because it shows Sitri was not just a later occult decoration slapped onto the Goetia shelf like a haunted refrigerator magnet. The spirit appears in an earlier demonological stream before the later Solomonic ordering became widely known. The Dictionnaire Infernal by Jacques Collin de Plancy belongs to the later European demonological tradition. It was first published in 1818, while the famous 1863 edition became especially important because of Louis Le Breton's illustrations, which helped shape how many Gothic and infernal spirits were visually imagined afterward. That source is useful for the visual tradition, not necessarily for treating every symbol as ancient truth carved by lightning into Atlantis, because apparently we do need to remind people books have publication dates. Esoteric knowledge. Sitri's leopard head is not just scary animal cosplay. In the symbolic reading, the leopard speaks to instinct, sensual intelligence, stealth, hunger, timing, and the body's silent knowing. Leopard energy does not announce itself. It watches, it waits, it reads the room before the room even realizes it is being read. The griffon wings carry another layer. The griffon is traditionally a hybrid creature, part eagle, part lion, often understood as a guardian image. Sky vision fused with royal force. In Sitri's scroll, this becomes the teaching of desire under guardianship. The lower self wants, the higher self must witness. The flame rises, but the crown must decide where it lands. That is why Sitri's medicine is not lust bad, that is lazy temple talk, and lazy temple talk has ruined enough dinners. The deeper teaching is this: desire reveals the hidden altar. What you want shows what is alive. What you chase shows what is wounded. What you cannot release shows what still owns a key to your inner house. Sitri exposes. That is the real current. Not just naked bodies, naked motives, naked wounds, naked hunger, naked loneliness, naked control issues wearing perfume and calling itself romance. Sitri teaches that attraction is a mirror, not a master. When someone awakens desire in you, do not panic and do not bow. Study the flame. Ask what it is showing you. Is it joy? Is it healing? Is it old abandonment wearing new jewelry? Is it sacred chemistry? Or is your nervous system trying to date a familiar wound because apparently peace was too quiet? The wise one does not kill desire. The wise one initiates it. The body is not dirty. The body is an oracle wrapped in skin, rhythm, memory, and mystery. But the body must not be handed to every spirit, every lover, every charming mouth, every shiny distraction, every weed. Message sent at 11:47 p.m. by someone whose emotional maturity needs a public defender. Sitri says, "Let the flame rise, but make it answer to truth. Let beauty speak, but make behavior testify. Let chemistry sparkle, but make character sign the contract. Let passion dance, but keep wisdom on the drums. Because attraction without discernment becomes a trap. Desire with wisdom becomes power. Love with boundaries becomes sanctuary. And passion with honor becomes sacred fire." The old grimoires name Sitri as a prince of love, beauty, exposure, and desire. But the deeper scroll says he is also a test of sovereignty. The question is not only who do you desire? The real question is what part of you is doing the desiring? If it is the wound, pause. If it is the ego, cleanse. If it is the soul, listen. If it is the body, honor it. If it is fear dressed as hunger, remove the costume and send it home. Because the sacred flame was never meant to make you small. It was meant to teach you how bright you are without setting your own throne on fire. The collective walked into the mirror chamber of Sitri, and the mirror did not come to play patty cake with anybody's illusions. Sitri showed us that desire is not wicked. Desire is a messenger. Desire is the flame knocking at the temple door saying, something inside you is alive. But here comes the cosmic side-eye. Not every flame is holy just because it makes your spirit sweat. Some attraction is sacred. Some attraction is a lesson. Some attraction is your old wound wearing new perfume and acting like it has a 5-year plan. It does not. It barely has emotional Wi-Fi. Sitri's scroll revealed the deeper truth. Attraction is information, not instruction. Chemistry is a spark, not a covenant. Beauty is a doorway, not proof of safety. Passion is powerful, but character must still pass inspection. The collective learned that Sitri's leopard face speaks of instinct, hunger, timing, and the body's ancient knowing. His griffon wings speak of guardianship, vision, nobility, and higher law. Together, they reveal the sacred balance. Feel deeply, but do not abandon yourself. Desire boldly, but do not dethrone your wisdom. Love openly, but do not hand the temple keys to chaos in cute shoes. Because the real test was never whether someone wanted you. The real test was whether you remembered your value while being wanted. And there it is, sitting on the altar like a jewel with attitude. Desire is not the trap. Unconscious desire is the trap. The body is not the enemy. The unhealed wound driving the body is the trickster. Sitri teaches that the sacred flame must be examined before it is followed. A pull in the spirit does not always mean destiny. Sometimes it means familiarity. Sometimes it means your nervous system recognized a pattern and whispered, "This feels like home." When really, it was just the same old haunted house with better lighting. So pause before you call it divine. Pause before you call it love. Pause before you mistake intensity for intimacy. The soul does not need to chase what is truly aligned. The heart does not need to beg where honor is present. The body does not need to bargain where safety is real. In the higher current, Sitri is not here to shame desire. He is here to refine it. He teaches the collective that passion becomes sacred only when it is joined with truth, consent, wisdom, and self-respect. Without those, passion becomes smoke. With those, passion becomes starfire. The old world taught people to fear the body or worship the body. Both paths are incomplete. The awakened path says, the body is an altar, the heart is a compass, the soul is the witness, wisdom is the gatekeeper. And not everyone gets entrance. Some come to love, some come to learn. Some come to drain. Some come to mirror your unhealed places so clearly that you either awaken or keep dating your own shadow in different outfits. Humanity really said, let's make healing romantic and confusing. Then acted shocked when the orchestra caught fire. Sitri's mirror says, do not follow every flame. Study it. Do not shame every hunger. Name it. Do not fear your desire. Consecrate it. Because when desire is ruled by the wound, it becomes bondage. When desire is ruled by ego, it becomes performance. When desire is ruled by fear, it becomes obsession. But when desire is ruled by wisdom, it becomes creation. It becomes art. It becomes devotion. It becomes sacred union with self before anyone else enters the room. So let this be the cosmic recap sealed in gold. Never confuse being wanted with being honored. Never confuse being chosen with being cherished. Never confuse chemistry with covenant. And never let desire make you forget the throne you were already sitting on. The mirror has spoken. The flame has been tested. The crown remains.
Universal Current, C Receipt, Architect Musician, 3611027. The Graceful Whisperer, Devalan, C Ahll.
Tonight, the collective enters the mirror of Sitri, where desire stops pretending and finally tells the truth. This scroll reveals why attraction is not always destiny. Chemistry is not always covenant, and passion without wisdom is just a spiritual fire hazard wearing perfume. Desire is not your enemy, but unhealed desire will lead you straight into a lesson with pretty eyes and poor emotional maintenance. Tragic little circus. Let the flame rise, but make it bow to truth. Let attraction speak, but make character testify. Let the body feel, but let the soul decide who receives access to the temple. Being wanted is not the same as being honored. Being desired is not the same as being cherished. And chemistry means nothing if peace has to leave the room. The sacred flame does not make you lose yourself. It reminds you who you are.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community. You've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started, and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.
The flame is sacred, but wisdom holds the lantern. Never chase what requires you to abandon your throne. Desire can knock, but discernment decides who enters. Your body is an altar, not a waiting room for confused spirits with pretty words. Chemistry may sparkle, but character is the true constellation.